have a brand new style for you. This is Campbell by Belle Tress in the color Brown Sugar Cookie R. Campbell is from the Luxe SE collection. I'd like to thank Frannie's Hair for providing this style for me so I could review it for all of you. The link to Campbell will be listed down below for you in the description box. Besides reviewing Campbell and showing it to you, I thought I would also compare it to two other styles because when I looked at the stock photos, they just appeared so similar. So I'll be comparing Campbell to Dalgona 16 hand-tied from the Cafe collection and to Singapore from the City collection. So let's start out with Campbell. As I mentioned, it's from the Luxe SE collection. So we're going to have an extended lace front. We're going to have a full mono top, felt covered ear tabs with a silicone, an extended nape, Velcro adjusters, and the cap is partially hand tied. So we have the hand tied towards the top and towards the nape area. It's covered. It's the wefts that are covered. Oh my gosh. The overall length, the longest length on Campbell is 18 inches. Oh, this is pretty. I like these shorter pieces on the front. So if you want to wear it with a bang, it's certainly possible. It's just a matter of a little trim. Okay, so what do we have here? We have long, we have layers, we have a little bit of a beachy wave, if you will. Very similar to the other two that I'm going to go over with you. And of course, I'll tell you what the similarities and the differences are. Of course, because we have a partially hand-tied cap rather, and the hand-tied portion is right here up on top. We're not going to have any permatease whatsoever. The density is pretty much average on Campbell. It weighs 4.4 ounces, so it is an average density. The sides, these layers are going to be between 8 inches and 18 inches. So there's lots and lots of layering here. The nape is 11.5 inches. Yep, and these front pieces right here are going to be right around 5 or 6 inches. So like I said, if you want to add a bang, very, very easy. Just a little trim is all it needs. The color, Brown Sugar Cookie R. I love this color. Very similar to Brown Sugar Sweet Cream from the Cafe collection. So if you like that color, you'll probably like this one as well. I think this one leans a little bit warmer than what we saw on Brown Sugar Sweet Cream. And Brown Sugar Sweet Cream has a blend of the dark, the medium, the light browns. While on Brown Sugar Cookie R, the color code on Brown Sugar Cookie R is 4, 16, 6, 13 plus 8. The plus 8 is going to be this medium brown root that is going to transition down throughout and blended with the other colors that we have going on here. The 16 is going to be a toffee dark blonde. And we also have some honey blonde in the blend. So I think that's what that honey blonde is, what makes it appear a little bit warmer than what we see on Brown Sugar Sweet Cream. Beautifully highlighted colors with the low lights and the highlights. And I have this color. I also have Nina in this color, and I think it looks beautiful on the straight style as well as on this wavy style. I'll show you the lace front so you could see it, how it looks on this color. Beautifully, beautifully done. And as with all the Luxe SE, we have great coverage. There is the ear tab. And just a little bit of my hairline peeking through. I have a 21.5 inch circumference, and the Luxe SE fits me fine. I just cinch it in a little bit, even though I am wearing a wig grip. And I don't feel it has as much stretch as we find on the Luxe or we find on the cafe hand-tied. I'm going to first compare it to Dalgona 16 from the cafe collection. This is the hand-tied version. With Dalgona 16, there is the regular version and there's the hand-tied version. And mine is in the color British Milk Tea. I lied. This is not the hand-tied version that I have. I don't know what I was thinking. This is the regular version. Sorry about that. Okay, so with the regular version, what we have, if I had the hand-tied cap, it would be the same cap as we have on Campbell. The difference is going to be that on the Cafe collection, the hand-tied caps are 100% hand-tied, unlike the Luxe SE collection where they're partially hand-tied. On Dalgona 16, what we're going to have is a left-hand part. We're not going to have a full monotop. So that is the first difference. The other thing that I want to mention is that Belle Tress has updated their cafe collection. So now the standard colors are available in the Dalgona 16E. They have the E version that's available. And with the E version, what you're going to get is you're going to get an extended lace front, whereas the old version, like mine, has a temple to temple. And what happened, one of the reasons why they updated the regular version is because there was a harsh transition right where the lace ended at the temple. So that's one of the reasons why they changed it to the E for an extended lace front, but also because they added Velcro adjusters. The older version, such as this one, we have pull type adjusters. The fibers are also different. On this older version versus the E version, which has luxe fibers, and this older version, the fibers don't have that fine denier as we find on the styles from the Luxe collection. All right, I'm going to put on Dalgona 16, the regular one. I don't know why I thought it was the hand-tied. Goes to show you I have a heck of a lot of wigs, right? I know I have I thought I had a hand-tied one. And I'll put them side by side so you could see them. All right, so this is Dalgona 16. Better give it a comb, otherwise it's going, I don't remember the last time I wore this one. With Dalgona 16, the measurements are going to be exactly the same. Whether you have the old version, whether you get the new E version, or you have the hand-tied. So what we're going to have here are sides between 10 and 14 inches. We don't have any shorter layers as we saw on Campbell. On Dalgona 16, they're between 10 and 14 inches, while on Campbell, they're 8 to 18 inches. So right there we have, it's much shorter. It's 14 inches on the sides, where we had 18 inches on Campbell. And the overall length on Dalgona 16 is between 10 and 16 inches. On Campbell, we had 6 to 18 inches, so much more layering. We also, if you want to add a bang, there's going to be more cutting on Dalgona 16 than what we saw on Campbell. The weight, as far as the weight is concerned and the density, we're going to have a not a much higher, but we're going to have a higher density on Dalgona 16 than we have on Campbell. Campbell is a little bit lower density, even though it is a longer style. So I think that between the two, it really depends if you want, first of all, the colors, because the colors on Luxe SE are completely different than the colors on the Cafe collection. And also, do you want more layers, or do you want less layers? Do you want a longer style or a shorter style? Also, price is a difference, because if you go with the Cafe collection, not the hand tie, but just the regular Cafe collection, the E of the E versions, it's going to be less expensive or with the lower price point than what we have on Luxe SE. Either way, I think it's really pretty. I've always loved Dalgona 16. I think it's a really, really nice style, but again, it's a matter of preference. A little bit higher density and no permatease, and the lace front is going to be absolutely beautiful. This is Singapore from the Belle Tress City collection in the color Crushed Almond Blonde R. With Singapore, we're going to have a few differences than what we saw on Dalgona 16 and what we saw on Campbell. With Singapore, we're not going to have as many layers at all. The sides are going to be 11 to 12 and a half inches. So we only really have two lengths here. With Singapore, it's going to be more of the same length all around. We're still going to have the kind of the beachy waves, but if you want a lot of layers, then it's better to go with Campbell than it is with Singapore. Singapore also has, out of the three styles, it has the lowest density. It weighs just a little over 3.5 ounces. It weighs 3.8 ounces. The other thing with Singapore, it's a left mono part with an extended lace front, and we have the beautiful fibers that we find on Belle Tress. We don't have any permatease whatsoever. This is a very light piece, and Singapore is also the shortest of the three. So how do you choose between one and the other? I think that if you want one that is the shortest and you want it the lightest density, then yes, it's Singapore. If you want a much longer style, then it would be Campbell. And if you kind of want the middle of the road, then it would be Dalgona 16. And of course, the colors have a lot to do with it. We're going to have totally different colors on the City collection as opposed to the Cafe collection, the Luxe or the Luxe SE. They're all going to have different colors, and that's just the way Belle Tress does it. The colors are by collection, so I think that's definitely a contributing factor. Also, Singapore is going to have a lower price point than on Campbell because Campbell has a partially hand-tied cap and Singapore has a left part and a weft cap. So it just really depends on your personal preference. Do you want more layers, less layers, longer or shorter? Then even though when we first look at those stock photos, they may appear very similar. And I've seen members saying, oh, they're all the same. Yeah, they do appear similar, but when we take an in-depth look at them, that's where we begin to see the difference. Look, see, on Singapore, there's no bank to cut. I mean, can you cut it? Yes, absolutely. You can certainly cut it, but it's not the same as with Campbell, that it's just a little trim. So there's a big difference there. And someone who doesn't care for layers may prefer a Singapore because there are no layers on this one. So those are the differences, and I think the similarities are that they're relatively low density, and they have all heat-friendly fibers, impeccable lace fronts, and no permatease whatsoever. That is definitely what they all have in common. Everything else is totally different and a matter of preference. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.